that are not continuing to make you think and feel the way that you were raised to think and feel. It's a memorized emotion. It's a memorized emotion that doesn't even need to have any thought behind it because it is instant. The ego becomes who we are, becomes our mind. The ego now becomes the way we think. So the brain will produce the chemicals that will be equal to those thoughts. So the thoughts of the ego.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Whole Psychology Method video. I am Lida Sportel at lidashealing.com and founder of the Whole Wellness Method. And this video you're about to watch is a mini video of the actual full-length video, which means it's about a 10 to 15 minute long video of the actual full length that I've done. And the reason is that I want you to kind of try it out, get a little taste of it, and see if it speaks to you. See if it is concepts that you want to dive deeper into. See if it touches your heart. See if you resonate with it and if you feel inspired by these concepts. And if you do and you want more of these, then join my program of the psychology pillar that I have a series of these videos, and you can get a lot more on that.
The vicious cycle of the body. If you didn't listen to the video before this one, I would go ahead and watch that first because it will make a lot more sense what we're going to be talking about today. But we were introducing that concept of how we become so habituated to becoming so attached to our bodies and what our body starts feeling and thinking, that then we kind of are not even part of the equation in a way, because our conscious mind is not present. But yet you find that it's really hard to implement them. It's really hard to change, and there's something, a force that seems that's stronger than any intention you have, or than any goal and intention or New Year's resolution or goal that you set for yourself, that something is really continuing to sabotage that process for you. Then why is it so hard to change? It is because of these limiting beliefs and of these memorized emotions that we have fostered for many, many years. It's affecting their own emotions and their own thought process and their own choices in life. So, and then let's just say that you start struggling with chronic illness yourself. Later in life, you start developing symptoms, whether same symptoms as your mother, and you're struggling with weight and or chronic pain or autoimmune or whatever it is, or a different type of chronic illness and symptoms that you are finding that you have those emotions over and over and over again. So not only did you experience that in your childhood, but now you as an adult or even as a child are struggling with your own life experiences around this same thing. And again, it doesn't have to be chronic illness. You can generalize this to anything. You could, again, generalize this to really anything. The point being is that what Dr. Joe is kind of trying to help us understand is that after all these years, let's just say now you're in your 30s or 20s or even 40s, 50s, whatever it is, all these years up until where you are now, you have been continuing to think and feel around a certain way around these life experiences that we just talked about. Eventually you get to a point where you don't now need to consciously remember, oh, I'm in pain, or oh, I have these symptoms, therefore I'm thinking and feeling a certain way. Eventually all this is now automatic. It's you don't need to think about what you've been through or or what you're going through right now, or if things are resolved for you right now and you don't have these current problems, but you have experienced a lot of those in the past, you don't even need to think about those past things you've been through to feel and think a certain way in the present moment, because now all that has become memorized. Your body now has memorized everything that it has been thinking and feeling all these years, that now it is completely um, unconscious. It's completely automatic, and it's your go-to thought and feeling that you don't even need to think about it. And so the question that I want to ask you here is to consider is, what is your memorized emotion? What is that emotion that you have experienced all your life, watching your mom, like we're saying, or dad, or other, caregivers around you, or your siblings or whoever, and then an emotion that you kept experiencing throughout your life based on your life experiences and situations, and that now it's almost like it's a memorized emotion. It's a memorized emotion that doesn't even need to have any thought behind it, because it is instant. When the body remembers better than the conscious mind, that is when the body is the mind, that's called a habit. So he really, describes this so perfectly, which is like the body becomes the mind, because now all these memorized emotions that you have been fostering all these years are now remembered by your body so well and so strongly that your conscious mind, the part of you that we will keep talking about, the frontal lobe, the part of you that is able to help you change and have this conscious thoughts of change and of a new life and of tapping into that quantum field that we keep talking about, to collapse, to choose out of the infinite possibilities a new possibility and collapse the new possibility, that is absent. There's no conscious mind present if the body has become the mind. To me, that is just like talking about what the Course in Miracles says, which is the ego now, which is so rooted into our body, time, and externals. The ego becomes who we are, becomes our mind. The ego now becomes the way we think. And that's a trap. It's a habit. It's very, very hard to change that unless we realize that there is a conscious mind, that there is a quantum observer, there is a decision maker, how we've talked about before, that can really go above that and look at that vicious cycle of the body. Look how much I continue to reinforce an emotion over and over again, because you have to really find what that memorized emotion is for you, and you have to catch it, and you have to really start training yourself in recognizing it, so that it goes from unconscious to conscious. And that's the process of really starting to break um, that vicious cycle. So again, a lot of people focus on just those memorized automatic thoughts and what are those limiting beliefs that we have, and I do too. I do focus on those a lot too. But here we're presenting the concept about those memorized emotions and how those become our thoughts, how those become the way we are unconsciously now functioning throughout our day and automatically responding to things, and just going the circuits in our brain, which the ego is going to use. The ego is, you know going to use the brain's ability to memorize all these thoughts and these feelings, is going to use that to reinforce the chemicals. Like we said, the brain produces these chemicals in our body that will be equal to those thoughts. So the brain will produce the chemicals that will be equal to those thoughts. So the thoughts of the ego will become the feelings of the ego, and then the feelings of the ego will become memorized into our body. So now our body will remember these feelings of the ego. It is exactly what we've been saying, which is if you want to change, if you want to uh, break the habit of being yourself or break the habit of being your ego, and you want to become the true you and the person that is here to really discover and uncover your greatness, then you need to really look at how is it that you're going to break that from reinforcing itself. Then it will take a little bit of extra work to tap into that 5% and to use the power that part of our brain, the frontal lobe, has to really help us rise above that and break all these habits that have kept us in a life that is really not what we want. Go back into the power of our minds and then change our bodies. And that's how healing happens too. So if we are talking about chronic illness and that nothing has worked for you, and you've lived in a family that struggled with chronic illness, and you have memorized all these feelings and all these thoughts around chronic illness, then if the body has memorized what it is to be sick, it means the body has become the mind. So the body is now controlling how you're thinking about chronic illness. So, and the body really, when it remembers better than our mind, then that is a situation that will really we need to do a little extra work to break that, so that we break that habit of the body becoming the mind or the chronic illness becoming who we are, and so forth.
I really hope that you have found at least one thing from this video that has benefited you or that has inspired you in some way. And if you think of somebody else that might also benefit from this, please share it with them. I really hope that you found this video valuable and that it has inspired you in some way. And listen to your heart. If you feel that you want more of these and that you want the actual full-length videos and that you want more neuroscience and you want more of the psychology and the Course in Miracles and the Dr. Joe Dispenza work and all these different things that I provide you, then come and join me inside the Psychology Pillar program, and I hope to see you there, leaving you in whole wellness. Bye-bye.